Hey there, Internet. R. Felix Finch, the broke law student. Robin, if you nasty. Felix, if you've known me quite a long time. And Finch, if you're one of my former Navy buddies. And I'm back. It's 2L, and I am here at Emory University School of Law, or Emory School of Law as they've now rebranded, or just Emory Law, because it's nice, it's clean. There you go. And yeah, 2L has started. Now, I didn't make grades good enough to even consider transferring, so I'm here for another 2 years. Maybe I'll get an LLM somewhere after this. Possibly I'll go back to another school for an SJD one of these days. But for now, it's about getting the job. It's about getting prepped. It's about becoming a lawyer and becoming an Emory lawyer at that. And as far as my summer goes, I'm actually going to make a video on Monday, which it's on Monday if you're on Patreon. If you're here on the YouTube channel, then yeah, I'm there today to help my boss finish off some things from my summer job. I'm very grateful to Pain Pros for having me for the summer, and I'll talk about more about what I did there. I did do some videos on my Patreon during the course of the summer, and I think I put a couple on YouTube, but I'm going to kind of have a post-mortem, hopefully get my boss in there, talk about the good, the bad, what I sucked at, what I was great at, and would he hire me again, which is a very important thing to know. And if not, I'll find out why, and I'll find out what I can do best next time. Anyway, let's talk about my classes this year, shall we? So for 2L, I've started off a little heavy. Now, all of us here at Emory have to take evidence because at the end of this semester, they've moved up when trial techniques is. There's a trial techniques class, which normally would have taken place in May after the second semester, and we would have been able to take evidence either this semester or next semester. But now everyone's taking evidence this semester. It's kind of interesting to see how the houses and how people got divvied up because of just what they were available for. When it comes to my other classes, besides evidence, I am focusing a lot on doctrinal. I have one kind of fun class, but the other ones are a bit heavier. Let's talk about what my Mondays and Wednesdays look like, because Monday and Wednesday is kind of a nice day for me because, I start at 10:30, I go till noon, and then I have a nice 2-hour break before I go from like 2 to 3:30-ish for class. So first off, I have copyright with my professor who also taught me property and who is also one of the leading AI scholars in the legal field. So, and I think copyright is going to be fascinating with him. He actually wrote the book. He uses a book that he can update, and it's very cool. I am so glad that I was able to get into that class. Then later that day have ERISA, which I talked about having employment last semester. This semester I have employment benefits. So it's nice to get a little more into employment law, and it's nice to be able to look into kind of some of the nitty-gritty stuff that is what is more often handled in employment law. The big four when it comes to employment law are usually employment law, employee benefits, employment discrimination, and labor law, which handles unions and stuff. I'm really hoping we end up getting a labor adjunct here. Next semester, I'm probably going to take employment discrimination. In fact, I've already met the professor who should be teaching employment benefits next year. If so, great. If not, I look forward to whoever does teach it. I just know whoever teaches it knows more than I do. I wasn't expecting ERISA to be as heavy as it was, but I am kind of glad it is. Nice to have another little challenge. But Mondays and Wednesdays are my lightest day by far. On Tuesdays and Thursdays, I start at 9 and I run till about 12:45 because I have the double whammy of having constitutional criminal procedure investigations and evidence back to back. And with ConCrim Pro, I actually chose who was going to be the most difficult professor as far as I knew. The one who knows her stuff, but was going to be the more challenging professor, and it's already showing. It's kind of funny because I do have a story with this professor that I told in my getting admitted, where I've been very open about the fact that I have I have character and fitness issues that are going to come up when it comes to applying to the bar. I spoke about it with this professor very candidly because I had her during the admitted students day. She talked to admissions, and admissions had forgotten to ask me follow-on questions. So I did not lie in my Emory application. In fact, I had some people asking about that. And no, I did not lie in any of my applications. I was very open. However, some applications ask more than others. And Emory realized it was their fault for not asking me, so I got to stay coming here. So I do apologize for anybody applying to Emory who now has to answer further questions because Emory realized they forgot to ask more with me. My bad. Moving on with that, I'm going with evidence, which is taught by a professor that I haven't had before. I will admit to this because I've talked about this openly. I signed up for a professor who almost the motto of their class is enjoy your B+, because, for every grade higher than a B+ that they give, they have to give a grade lower. Well, I signed up for that class. That professor ended up having to teach other things instead, so we got swapped out for a completely different professor. I don't know anything about this particular professor's grading style. I'll talk more about what to expect towards the end of the year later in this video, but it was kind of funny to be like, well, there goes my skate class. I normally don't do this, but all right, let's go. This is where things get interesting because on Tuesdays, I have a class that runs from 5:15 to 8:10, entertainment law with an actively practicing entertainment lawyer here in Atlanta. That's going to be interesting. That's going to be fun. I like the idea of having a practitioner who is teaching the class as the adjunct, because then I know that this person, not only do they know their stuff, but they are current with it because they have to be, because that is the law, especially with something as fluid and ever-changing as entertainment. And I did mention an idea that I had to him about something I want to do once I pass the bar exam, and he found it quite fascinating, and he actually wants to talk more about it. I'm not going to talk about it here. If you've been on my Patreon, you know what it is I'm talking about, probably. But if not, I'll talk more about it as things come. Snipers, no sniping. And then this class won't begin until October 8th, I think. And that would be Advanced Legal Research Case Law Mastery. I am looking forward to this because it is a class on researching. It is a class on being able to go through and it's a class where I'm able to go in and I'm able to learn to research better, because I'm not the strongest legal writer. I've admitted that. But I love researching. Researching is so much fun. It is so fun to dig through the files, especially electronically. If I had to go through and dig through the books and the archives, could I? Probably. But why, when digitally is just so much more efficient? It is very cool to be able to do this, be able to go through and be able to research. I am so excited about it. But that is the second 7 weeks of the year, so I do hope that I can do more of these, because it's like a 1 credit course, like 2 to 4:45, something like that. Anyway, I'm looking forward to that. That's going to be exciting. And I'm going to finish up by talking about what to expect by the end of the year and what I'm going to be sharing in these weekly things. But first off, let me give a message to all the 1Ls who follow this channel, who are 1Ls at Emory. Thank you. It was wonderful to talk to you, to meet you this weekend. Even as I was coming in here, one of the 1Ls is like, hey, you were like a celebrity to me. And I'm like, hey, thank you. I'm just a student here sharing my experience, because I believe in transparency and I don't believe that law should be gatekept. But, to all you guys out there, it's been wonderful to see you. Remember, you're here because you're brilliant, and remember to take care of yourselves. And read your syllabus. Your professors would want me to tell you, read your syllabus. That is key. That is important. But, it's been wonderful to meet you. Also, it's been wonderful to see you finding your people. I'm already seeing certain little groups form, and it's nice. It's very nice. And as more clubs meet throughout the year, as Outlaw meets, as Balsa meets, as some of the entertainment societies meet, some of the affinity groups, you're going to find more of your people, and that is a wonderful, great thing. And I am so happy for you that you get to, get onto this part of your journey here. I'm excited. I can't wait to see the great things you guys do. But for me, this is going to be a reading heavy thing. I'm gonna do my best to keep up with this weekly. If you're on my Patreon, except for the day I had to go get my car checked because my brakes exploded, I'm going to be kind of wrapping up every school day talking about what I talked about in classes those days. So patreon.com/thebaroque you can find me there. If you're one of the 1Ls, by the way, even if you're a 1L somewhere else, don't put your money towards my Patreon. I thank you. I'm happy to take it, but I don't want to take it. I want you to just focus on you, because I think that is very important. As broke as I am, I don't want to take away from anybody's ability to learn. But as far as my exams go, my copyright exam, much like my property last semester, is going to be closed book. My ERISA exam, unlike the open universe last year, is going to be closed universe. So currently there's a one letter size piece of paper front and back that we could have whatever notes we want on. It may increase, it may not, but so far that's what we know about the class. That's what we know about the exam. So it's going to be closed universe. We may be able to have some notes in there, but a limited number of notes. We'll see what happens there. As far as constitutional criminal procedure investigations, that is also going to be closed book, closed note. Evidence, closed book, closed note. And entertainment, I don't think he said whether it's closed note or not, but there's kind of a two-part assignment to that. One where we do a group, there's a group negotiation project where some of us represent the label and some of us represent the artist. And then on top of that, there's the final exam, which will be a quiz and essay. And I don't know whether that'll be closed note or not. So we will see. I'm hoping that I can do well enough on the negotiation stage, which was interesting because we already have 3Ls in that class that have taken negotiations or ADR. So they will have a leg up. We even had someone who used to do film buying, which is fascinating. There are some really fascinating people in that class, but I'm not going to violate FERPA. If they want to go online and talk about their experiences, that's on them. I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to identify them, but there are some very cool things coming about. But you'll see that I'm actually going to have to really lock in and study hard because I won't be able to hope that I took notes well enough to thrive in these classes. I hope that being closed notes is a great equalizer. But also, I've been hit in the head a lot, like a lot. I did boxing and I wrestled. I've consented to battery more than most people should be able to, and I probably have a few not so fun brain box injuries because of that. But before we go, I am going to let you know about what I read this week. What I read this week. So let's start out with copyright for day one. So here's a little chart. We have my courses: copyright, ERISA, constitutional criminal procedure, evidence, and entertainment. I'm talking about day one and day two of those classes. Entertainment's only one day, so they only get day one. So in week one, I read 30 pages for copyright for day one, 45 for day two, bringing the total to 75 pages for copyright. For ERISA, I read 25 pages equivalent for ERISA because of the way they're put up. I'm putting, like, if I had printed out all of the decisions, this is what it would be. And I'm not including like conversion charts. So ERISA's a little awkward, but best I can synthesize 25 pages for day 1 and 21 pages for day 2, bringing the total to 46 pages. Constitutional criminal procedure, this is where it gets fun. For the first day, it was 12 pages. And then for the second day, 188. Although, let me give the credit, for 40 of those pages, they said skim. I have difficulty figuring out what to skim without actually reading it. So 188 pages, 148 if you wanted to talk about what was actually asked to be read. Evidence. For the first day, I had 40 pages, and for the second day, I had 28 pages, bringing the total to 68. And then for entertainment law, for the one-day session, 40 pages, bring the total to 40, giving us a final total of 429 pages for week 1. I am going to keep track of this as I go through, just so you can see what I'm doing. Now, don't be scared, 1Ls, if you see this and being like, oh wow, 2L gets intense. I did this to myself by taking the classes I chose. So you're not guaranteed to have this many to read. Just know that having to read this many is a possibility. Let's pretend it's gone. And anyway, thank you for having me here. It's been wonderful. It's a great pleasure. I'm honored that you keep following me through my journey, and I hope I can provide you all the information you need. Since I am a Barbary representative, let me tell you 1Ls out there, and even your 2Ls, because there's some courses on there. Use the Barbary Success. Look through Quinby. You'll see Quinby study aids. There will be Barbary 1L Success available to you. I'm even going to put a link in the description so you can go check out Barbary's 1L Success, because it'll be very helpful to you. Use everything you can to do well this semester. Hiring's about to be insane. You'll be fine. I believe in you. I have faith in you. I love you. Peace out, party peoples. I will see you next time. Now, I've got to go do some more reading.